Let's talk about the villains that started off as one hero's adversary, then became a reoccurring villain for a different hero. Let's start off with Sabretooth. You know him as the enemy of Wolverine. These dudes have been going at it for years. But originally, Sabretooth debuted as an Iron Fist villain. He was an enforcer for a local crime lord that was hired to take out Iron Fist, and Iron Fist put the beats on his ass. And then dude got fired for always getting his ass beat by Iron Fist. So then he hooks up with Mr. Sinister, and the rest is history. He was a much better match for Wolverine, who debuted 3 years earlier in the Incredible Hulk number 180 issue. Deathstroke the Terminator was a Teen Titans enemy. This grown-ass man was being a menace to these teen heroes. Nah, for real, you should lock this man under the jail. But then we see him being more of a Batman adversary. But then, after the fight with the Justice League in Identity Crisis where Green Arrow stabbed him where his eye is missing, we see Slade becoming a reoccurring Green Arrow villain. Now, Onomatopoeia debuted as a Green Arrow villain. He's a hitman and an assassin who only speaks in onomatopoeias. He debuted taking out low-level superheroes. Then he came after Green Arrow's son, shot him in the head. When Connor Hawk, Green Arrow's son, didn't die and was getting operated on, he went to finish the job at the hospital, but Green Arrow was there, and while that surgery was being done, he held him at arrow point the entire time. That shit was cold. And then we see later on, years later, Onomatopoeia have a run-in with Batman, where he was posing as a hero. Batman's working with him as a partner, then he reveals himself to being a villain. Now, Batman just straight up stole this dude as a villain, because we see him appear in Batman Caped Crusader. For years, people had wondered how you would debut this character, probably not in a live action, because it seems kind of silly, because he only speaks in onomatopoeia. In Batman Caped Crusader, they nailed it. I think Green Arrow should be mad about this one because wait a minute. You got all the rogues. You got all the famous villains. You gonna take one of mine? One of the more unique ones I got? Petty as hell. Kingpin is an interesting one because he debuted in a Spider-Man comic, but we know him as a main villain in the Daredevil series. What's funny is we've even seen Spider-Man and Daredevil talking about whose villain Kingpin is. And we see Daredevil like, well, I mean, he's tried to kill me more times than you. And Spider-Man's like, fair. And then he tells Spider-Man, I mean, you got all the cool villains anyway. I got guys like Stiltman. Let me have Fisk. This is a switch that does make sense too. Spider-Man does have a bunch of villains already, so it makes sense for him to run into the Kingpin because he's a whole crime lord and everything. But Daredevil is a street hero. Spider-Man's a street hero too, but not like Daredevil. My man gets gritty. Daredevil has a whole noir thing going on. Spider-Man doesn't really have that. And the Kingpin fits right into that realm along with Daredevil, as we see during the Frank Miller run where they really go at each other's throats, which also solidified their antagonistic relationship with each other. I like when things like this happen because it shows the elements that need to switch around in order to make a story work. Like, alright, these guys are enemies, but it works better if this dude's an enemy here. It's kind of like wrestling. Like, okay, these guys are feuding, but this makes more sense as a feud. Basically seeing which characters are more compatible and have better chemistry as enemies. Let me know in the comments if you know any other villains that got drafted to being another hero's enemy.